Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Lesia and today I wanted to share with you a non-spoilery review of a book that you may have heard about because it's circulating through BookTube right now. And this is The Diabolic by S.J. Kincaid, and this is a book that I have requested from a new service. It's called Social Books Co. And this is a service that actually allows you to go and compare prices from several major retailers and bookstores online. So it's very useful if you're searching for a particular edition of a particular book and you want to find the best prices, but it's kind of a big deal when you go through from Amazon to Book Depository and then to A-Books and stuff and try to compare prices. So the deal with them is that they are already the algorithm that allows you to compare the prices for the books, which makes your life totally easier. And they have a book reviewer program, and I requested this book because I really wanted to read it and I figured it would be a good book to review. So this is what I'm doing here today, so let's get started. The Diabolic is set in far-off future when people have colonized space and are living all across the universe, scattered in different places. And the current situation is that some are living on planets, some are living on ships in the middle of space, and their society is such that they are following a religion that hails the big cosmos, the great cosmos, I believe, and they are renouncing all scientific education and science and exploration of space and are living off their old technologies. But at the same time, we're getting introduced to a technology that allows crafting the Diabolics, and the Diabolics are engineered humans that have specific traits installed in them that allow them to be very aggressive to the outer world, but at the same time allow them to be bonded to a single person that they are bound to protect, and the only person that they actually have a connection to. And we're following Nemesis. Nemesis is the main heroine of the book. She is one such a creature, and she is completely devoted to Sidonia, her master, and she would do anything to protect her. She loves her with complete devotion, but at the same time Nemesis is very ruthless because this is in her upbringing. This is what she had to go through to survive and to be selected to be a Diabolic who would actually be purchased and commissioned for a family. And Nemesis is living her usual life as a Diabolic up until the moment where her master Sidonia is ordered to join the Emperor's court, full of intrigue and danger, and she is basically ordered to join him as a means of control for the Emperor to have over her family. And her family, understanding this, order Nemesis to go in her place, and this is what Nemesis has to do in order to let her master survive. And Nemesis doesn't have any second guesses or second thoughts about this. She goes and she joins the court of the Emperor, and that's where the adventure unfolds truly and deeply. I can honestly say that this was a very fast-paced and fun and fast read for me. I started it yesterday evening and I stayed until the late hours of the night when I hit a very pivotal part in the story, and I luckily went to sleep before reading a chapter that would escalate things even further, so I was at least regaining my sanity as I was trying to sleep. But this is definitely a really cool story, and the character development in this one is very interesting because Nemesis is supposed to be this ruthless person, not really a person even, but a machine. But we discover that she is not really a machine per se, because she was generated as a human, just tailored to certain specifications, and we see how her nature is getting in her way of understanding other people, but then ultimately she gains some knowledge that makes her understand more of what's going around her, and this is such a journey to go on to. It's such a cool perspective, and I loved what S.J. Kincaid did in this book. Through the eyes of Nemesis, we see every part of the universe as she is experiencing it from her own inexperience, from her own eyes for the first time. She is learning to appreciate her surroundings. She is noticing the differences between something created artificially and something that is created naturally, and she is pondering all these questions and trying to figure who she is and how she fits into this society. And she's also filled with emotions, and while they may be overwhelming for her as well as for us, this is such a joyous journey to go on to. If you like court intrigue, then this book might pique your interest. I wouldn't say it's a very complicated court intrigue in here. It's pretty straightforward because the Emperor's side is very dark, and it's really clear who is the big bad in the book, but nonetheless there are lots of intricate moments for surviving in this new court life that Nemesis is entering, especially since she has to pretend to be human while she has to be constantly under scrutiny and constantly be afraid for the fact that she might be revealed. And of course things go wrong, this is natural, and this is why this book is so much fun to read and also to explore. But the characters, they really make this book come alive, and I really enjoyed every character we met in this book. I enjoyed Nemesis' character so much because she really is ruthless, and if you want to read about a character who plays his part like really well, she understands the implications, she understands what's going to happen if she doesn't follow her guidelines, if she gets discovered. She understands everything, and she's so smart, and at the same time she is such a noob at everything, and this is such a cool premise. So this is actually a first book in a series, but it reads very well as a standalone, and I think that if you don't want to commit yourself to a series, you can read this book and you can feel totally fine about it because you have the story in this book completely wrapped. So while it leaves some strings that can be further explored in the second book, which definitely can happen, the story is great on its own, and I really recommend that for anyone who doesn't want long commitment but really wants to pick something new and exciting. While so many books fall into this major plot hole of characters that fail to communicate directly between them and that spawns problems and problems constantly, here we see a main character who is actually handling her problems head on and doesn't allow conversation to go unfinished so that she can actually move forward. And this is something I so appreciate in books because I get the feeling that misunderstandings are the most awful tropes in books, but here it's done so well that I am filled with appreciation for it. So there you go. I think this is as much as I can say about the Diabolic without spoiling more about the plot. I just want to tell you that there's a lot of changing in settings, there's a lot of characters that are quite well developed, all of them, and there are no typical YA tropes. I mean, there are some elements that you might find familiar, but still I think this book stands very well on its own, and you should definitely give it a try. If you want to read about a strong female character who is trying to survive in a hostile environment and is really trying, I mean, she's not one of those characters who is kind of semi-trying and then blames herself for being sucky at it. She's actually doing her best, and she's actually striving to excel, and she's actually thinking critically of everything she does, and she is very analytical, which is why I love her character so much. So I really think that you should check this book out and really tell me what you think about Nemesis as main character, because she is a kick-ass heroine and I love her for it. So there you go, guys, that was my review of the Diabolic, spoiler-free as promised, and you can find the link to the book in the description. It leads to Social Books Co, where you can find the best price on whichever website suits best. And they also have like shipping costs calculated, so that's quite useful. So let me know if you've read the Diabolic or whether you might be interested in reading it in the future. And I'll see you guys in my next video, which will probably be my wrap-up of the month of January. Thanks very much for watching. Don't forget to leave me a thumbs up if you liked the video, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye!